A local producer's program is next here on Oshkosh Community Access Television.
Packer fans, welcome to Packer Talk with Green Show. The show is brought to you by Ratchendez Pizza Corner of Bowen and Merritt, the best pizza in town. Audio Plus on Kohler Road out there, and Coca-Cola Bottling on Main Street in Oshkosh here. And my special guest, Mark Heiler. And introduce yourself to the crowd here. He is a U.S. Marine, and he gets my respect. He really does. Go ahead. Introduce yourself and where you're from and where you're stationed at.
I'm Mark Heiler. I'm from originally from Oshkosh. I'm stationed down in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, with the Gulf Battery, 2nd Battalion, 10th Marines. I'd like to say hi to all you people out there. Thank you.
Say hi to some of your close friends down there.
This is for the first sergeant of the battery. How you doing, first sergeant? Hope you heal up soon.
Why? What happened to him?
He had a brain tumor, and they had to take it out not too long ago.
How's he doing? Well, you don't know. How's he doing when you left?
He's doing pretty good now.
Yeah. Well, good. That's
sure
good. Well, good luck, and you get well too, I guess. The Marines, I love you all, and I respect you very much. And Bounce, Marines, and the Navy. Tell us about what department are the Marines in? Tell Bounce.
The Marines are a department of the Navy.
What department?
The men's department.
The men's department.
There you go.
So anyway, well, Mark, we had a bye this past week, of course, and what'd you do during the bye? There's no football game. What'd you do this past weekend? I know you're up from base for a couple of days off.
I watched the playoff games this weekend, and I thought they were pretty good. I liked the game yesterday when Philadelphia did, or as you were, San Francisco did what they did, and that was outstanding. I'm looking forward to seeing San Francisco come to Green Bay this weekend, because I think the Packers are going to stomp them.
Oh, yeah. Well, we beat them in the preseason, in the regular season, Monday night, 23-20 in overtime, of course, with a field goal. 60, could have been a 60-yarder by Chris Jagger, but it was a 53-yarder.
Right.
I don't know if there's really revenge. In fact, Mike Holmgren's 2-0 on Coach Seifert. Of course, there's a lot of ties, as you know, between Coach Seifert and the 49ers and Steve Young and Mike Holmgren and Sherman Lewis and these guys. So it's somewhat of a family feud, a little bit, coming up here in Green Bay.
Well, I was just seeing they showed some stats yesterday saying that Coach Seifert against Coach Holmgren
is 0-2.
Is 0-2. So that was good to go, and hopefully it'll be 0-3 after this weekend.
Oh, you will be 0-3. Oh, I got to, and I just got the news when I was left home. Brett Favre, MVP.
There you go.
A second year in a row. Even the great Dan Marino of the Miami Dolphins did not get it 2 years in a row. Only the great Joe Montana and the great Brett Favre did it 2 years in a row.
That's all it's
But like you said, we got the 49ers come up here. It's an 11:30 game Saturday. It's about 9:30, I guess, West Coast time. So it's like a wake-up call for these guys. And it doesn't really matter on the weather, Mark, because the Green Bay Packers are such a great team, balance-wise, defense, offense, and special teams with Desmond Howard. The 49ers, they have a chance, but they'll be in it maybe for a little bit. They'll be in it. They'll be 0-0. That's the last time they're going to be tied.
Well, I'll be sitting home this weekend, and we're leaving here on Thursday. But Saturday, I'm going to tell my kids to go out and play, and that way there's no noise in the house so I can watch the Packers stomp.
Yeah, stomp. That's a good word, stomp. A guy at work told me the other day that, today at work, he says, the truth is that we had too much talent, too late to wait, and we worked too hard for this 13-3 record, which, by the way, was the toughest schedule in NFL, they say, and we went through it, like I said last week, like we played Borth North, and we're 13-3, and we worked awful hard at this record, Mark. There's no reason why we should stop. We're healthy, wealthy, and wise, so to speak, to use the phrase. And the Green Bay Packers are going to be after Saturday morning, it'll be one step closer to
there you go.
The S word down in New Orleans.
Well, hopefully Carolina will do well on Sunday, but if they don't, let Dallas come on up here.
It don't matter.
It's going to happen.
It don't matter. I'm not really worried about, as Coach Holmgren says, and every coach in the NFL says, one game at a time, or sorry, one play at a time, one game at a time, and worry about yourself, and whatever happens, happens. And that's the philosophy I think is really, it really bodes well for Green Bay Packers. We worried about ourselves. We had a couple falls. We'd lost 3 games this year, so, but overall, we are the #1 team in the NFL, and we're going to show these people this starting this weekend.
Exactly. I think that if Dallas comes up here, they're going to have to pay for that 7th field goal they kicked down in Dallas.
Yeah, 7th field goal. Everybody has their idea about the 7th field goal in that 21-6 Monday night loss down in Michelle Irving Stadium in Texas with a hole in the roof. But anyway, we'll be ready. The team will be ready. I guess they had a couple days off. The coach let them go here, go there, and loosen up, let me relax, and wherever they did, went back home for a couple days or whatever. But starting this coming up Tuesday, they're going to get down to brass tacks, so to speak, and they're going to be ready to play Saturday morning.
Well, they had the coach on yesterday at halftime during the San Francisco game, and they had asked him what he was going to do for the Packers after the last Sunday's win over the Vikings. He said he gave him a few days off, and he said he was going to give Monday off and Tuesday off, and Wednesday they'd go back to a regular schedule. So I think they'll be fired up for Saturday, and when the time comes, I think the opponents better watch out.
You better watch out because the Green Bay Packers are home and they're going to town. You know, we got to give the 49ers some credit, you know, with the great Jerry Rice, and they got William Floyd, the big blocking fullback, and they got, Turtle Owens, the other wideout, and, of course, Young. One thing about Steve Young, he does run the ball. Well, of course, my opinion is when a quarterback runs for more yardage than your running backs, that's really not a positive. It's somewhat of a negative, isn't it? Like the Fred Tarkenton, I think he ran for about 40,000 miles, and the team really never did anything. Well, so, I mean, it's a detriment, I think, when a quarterback runs for more than a running back does.
I watched that entire game yesterday, and when I saw the stats of their rushing, and when I saw that Steve Young was rushing more than their running backs, I thought, well, this isn't doing too good for a football team. And well, when he scored his one and only touchdown yesterday, you saw that they picked him up. He was in the fetal position, and he wasn't doing too good.
Well, he got some rib. Right. I don't know exactly what happened to his ribs, if they're bruised, slightly bruised, or whatever, I imagine. But Steve Young, if you're listening to me, what you should be, the show should be syndicated out in San Francisco someday, maybe it will, with the Fabulous Babe. You're going to get your butt pounded this weekend. Like, remember last year? Last year we chased him backwards. He went backwards more than he went forwards. Exactly what's going to happen up here at Tundra Saturday morning.
There you go.
And, I mean, we just have an awful lot of talent. We got Brad Jones, a tight end. Leroy Butler's going to be on him like a blanket. And our corners, Doug Evans and Craig Newsome, Owens and Rice are not, they're going to be ineffective. Because our corners are, our defensive backs as a whole, I believe, and probably a lot of people in the NFL believe, I'm a partisan Packer fan, of course, I believe that they are the best set of 4 defensive backs in the National Football League as a unit.
Exactly. I went to the Viking game, and when I was out there and Reggie White came out onto the field and the fans just went nuts. I think because now this is the start of the playoffs. This isn't the first game of the playoffs, but this is the Packers' first game of the playoffs this year. I feel that Reggie's going to come out there, and he's just going to clean house.
Oh, they're all going to clean. I mean, you got Big Gilbert Brown. You know, he's the Lord in the, you know, that guy, he could dig a hole for you trenches in the Marine Corps, that Big Gilbert Brown dude. So he's big. So, yeah, Leroy Butler, the best strong safety in the National Football League. And they have some talented football. They only had 4 to the Pro Bowl, which is somewhat of a shame. But they're going to show winning the Super Bowl is more important than being in the Pro Bowl.
Well, I think after they do win the Super Bowl this year, they will win it there, Nubby. I think once they do win it, next year they'll have a lot more selections for the Pro Bowl.
Oh, yes. And, well, I want to I forgot this, about a quarterback running for a lot of yards. Bobby Douglas, the Bear quarterback. Remember that bounce? I remember that guy running. Anyway, there's one of the last quarterback that ran for 1,000 yards.
There you go.
Left-hander out of Chicago.
Well, didn't he go up to the Packers after he left the Bears?
Oh, he might have.
I think he was with them for a little while.
Yeah.
But the Bears, they're sitting at home. They'll be watching everything from the couch this year.
Yeah, they'll be couch potatoes watching the Packers play.
But that's typical for them, and we all know how the Bears are.
No, your wife is a Minnesota fan, correct?
No, she's the Chicago Bear fan.
Oh, no, she's a Chicago Bear fan. No, who's the Minnesota fan?
My sister-in-law.
Your sister-in-law is a Minnesota fan. And, no, did your sister-in-law go to the game with you this past?
Sure did.
No, tell us a little bit about what's going on between you and your sister-in-law and the little group of people that had up there.
Well, where we were sitting, I was sitting on right next to the aisle. My sister-in-law was sitting next to me. and her other brother-in-law was sitting on her other side, and he's a big Packer fan.
Oh.
Well, she'd jump up every once in a while in the first half, but the second half, she just pretty much sat down and waited out the final of the game.
Yeah.
Because I feel she got pretty abused in that game. First half, she had her little ranting and raving, and second half, she didn't have a whole lot to say.
No.
But that was an outstanding game up there.
No, the group of men you were with down in North Carolina, I know the Cow Pies have fans a lot of places and throughout the. Well, the Packer fans are more numerous than any other team in the NFL. But how many Packer fans do you have with your group of men down there? A lot, or just a few, or mostly? What are they, Cow Pie fans, or what?
Well, there's a few Cow Pie fans in there, but I'd say for the most part, no matter where they come from, they all like the Packers. And for some of the people that I'm with, you know, a lot of East Coast Marines, and a lot of them like the Packers because they're known as America's team.
Right.
The Cow Pies, I think that's in somebody's imagination that they are.
Smoke and the mirrors.
Yeah, there you go. But
now, of course, Carolina is. How far is that inside North Carolina? About from the South Carolina. I know it's Carolina's.
Well, it's just north of South Carolina.
By 20 miles, 30 miles from the border, or
about 60 miles. It's just
just
north of Wilmington, North Carolina.
Wilmington, North Carolina. No, they have a very good football team for being the so-called second-year expansion team. But everybody knows these expansion teams with Jacksonville made it. They beat Buffalo this past week, which is okay with me with Mark Brunell and Jurkovic and a couple other guys from the Packers. But these guys were stocked from the free agency market and the draft this past, a couple years ago. So they really are a formidable team. Maybe they are ahead of their time, so to speak, a couple years, Mark, but they still are a very good football team. And Jacksonville is younger as a team than the Carolina Panthers, so they're going to be maybe stronger, longer than the Carolina Panthers will be down the road.
Well, doesn't Carolina have the oldest defense?
Yeah, they got a pretty old. They got some old. That's what I'm saying. They're kind of old guys. Yeah.
So they better do what they're going to do in the next couple of years, or they're going to have to start from scratch again.
Yes. Yeah. Jacksonville is on the other end. Is somewhat younger.
Right.
So but I don't know what the weather's supposed to be for this Saturday, 11:30 a.m. But like I said before, it doesn't really matter because we are a very, very good squad. One thing about Brett Favre in the offense does spit and sputter once in a while, Mark. They get off to a slow start, they misfire, they drop balls, and he's off, he's low, he's high with his passes, and they stuff the defense stuffs are running, whatever. But the defense of the Green Bay Packers, they're not the #1 overall defense in the NFL for nothing.
Right.
They worked from game 1 to game 16. They shut the run down. They shut the pass down all year. I don't think there was more than a handful of long passes and a handful of long runs against the Green Bay defense all year. They're very, very consistent group. And with Reggie, they're focused. That defense, that team as a whole is very focused. Coach Holmgren's focused. Sherman Lewis, Tom Lovat, and all these coordinators and his coaches are really focused. They've been focused all year. They know what their intentions are, and they're going about it the right way. And they don't do, after they win a game, they don't do a lot of high-fiving and a lot of hooping and hollering, smoking cigars and drinking champagne and stuff. They know what they got a couple games ahead of them. After the 26th of January, about 9 o'clock, then they can go out and hoot and holler and have all these cigars and have a good time after that game, but not until.
One thing I think about the Packers, from being up at that game, we were there after the end of the game, and once the game was over, they stayed out there for a while because they wanted to let the fans know thanks for coming out. And I think the fans appreciate that. And no matter where you are, when I was down in North Carolina, even when I was stationed in Florida, I'd watch the Packers, and just seeing the fans up here, there are fans up here that like there are nowhere else in the United States.
Well, there's not going to be 20,000 San Francisco 49er fans up here.
No.
No, I mean, it's kind of cold for them people.
Well, when I went down to New Orleans last year with my son, and we saw the Packers stomp them, when I was outside the Superdome, I thought I was in Green Bay because there were so many Packer fans there, and seeing that Brett Favre was from that area.
Right.
His whole family was there, but just being outside the dome, it looked like we were in Lambeau Field because there were Packer fans all over the place.
Mark wants to bring up a point about bandwagon fans. Go ahead and speak your mind. I mean, I don't like bandwagon fans, but if you're going to be a bandwagon fan, you better stay here on the wagon. I don't expect the Packers to fall apart. If they ever go 0-16 or 2-14, you better not throw them hats and shirts away, Mark. You better wear them now on into hell freezes over.
Exactly.
So go ahead, say something about your bandwagon fans. I'm glad you're here, and I hope they stay.
I've been a Packer fan all my life, and that's all I've ever known was the Packers. Well, from being stationed in North Carolina right now, I go to stores there, and I see a lot of Packer memorabilia there now. And I think that's good, but then on the other hand, I think, well, were all these salespeople when the Packers weren't doing good? Because they're all over the place now. And I'm glad that the Packers are doing good. And I'm glad that all the Packer hats and shirts and all that are there. But if you're going to be there, let's stay there for good.
Stay there. Stay there.
So, exactly.
You know, I've been doing this for 18 years, you know, and I sort of am I think I put the bandwagon together. Everybody knows who I stand for and where my blood really is, green and gold. And through thick and thin, this green man has been here, and I'm not going to go anywhere. And hopefully before I'm dead and gone, which is a few years to go, I can go to a couple of Super Bowls. Well, in fact, we're going to be the first team in the NFL to win 3 in a row.
There you go.
Back to back to back. The first team to do that.
That'll work.
And other than that, you want to say hi? You said hi already. Say hi. I'm going to say hi to Bounce. I have to say Bounce every week. I say to Bounce Youngworth, his father-in-law, and he's a nice guy and everything. And but I'm looking forward to this game, and it doesn't really matter who we play a week after that. I don't think you know, we play the Cowpies next year up here in the regular season.
Right.
And it doesn't really matter. I think we got the talented team and the coach and the general manager now who are going to keep us focused and on a good side of the tracks for a long time.
I don't think it really matters who comes up here to play Green Bay, because the road to the Super Bowl is through Green Bay. I think we're going to go all the way. I think we're going to go down to New Orleans and beat whoever we play, and it'll probably be Denver.
Yeah,
that's my thought.
Yeah.
But I think that I've seen the schedule for next year. They haven't come out with solid dates.
Solid dates yet, no.
But I don't think they're really going to play anybody next year.
Well, they play Miami.
Well, they're going to beat them easily.
And Buffalo and Indianapolis and Cowpies.
But seeing that I'll be
16-0.
I'll be in North Carolina here shortly, and when I go back there, as soon as they come out with the tickets, we're going to get tickets for the Carolina Packer game.
Yeah, they go down there. They
sure
go down
do.
there. Erickson Stadium. I think there's only us and Carolina are only 2 teams undefeated at home, I think, this year.
Yes, that's it.
8-0. I believe. I know Denver's 7-1. I don't know who they lost to. But anyway, yeah,
But I don't think there's anybody that can touch the Packers right now.
Oh, no.
They're the team to beat.
Yeah, we're healthy. We're focused. We have a mission upon us. We got, just like the Marines, when they go on shore, they don't let up. The Marines and the Packers don't quit until they accomplish their mission. And exactly what our mission is in about a month from now is the Super Bowl down in New Orleans.
Exactly.
And we are, like I said, I can't say it enough there how focused we are, how talented we are, how healthy we are, and everything else. And we're going down there and we're gonna come up with a win. And I don't care who we play. Don't matter. MVP Brett Favre and Reggie White, the #1 defense, second #1 offense, and we got a very, very good football team.
Well, when he was selected today for the second year in a row as the MVP, I thought if it would have been anybody else, I would have been upset.
Oh.
Because with his stats, him throwing more touchdowns this year than he did last year, I don't think there was any other choice but to, select him again.
He had problems like we talked about before with his family situation and his painkiller thing and stuff, and that man is I think he's the most focused of them all.
Exactly.
I mean he's got his head on straight and he's really ready to go to town this Saturday and weeks to come to Super Bowl, New Orleans. I'm going down there.
Packers are definitely the team to beat. And
who's your favorite Packer? I mean, you got a Brett Favre shirt on. Is he one of your favorites? You like them all? They wear the green and gold. You like them all, I guess.
I like this one. Well, I have to say thank you to my daughter Tina because she bought me this for Christmas. And
I mean, Bounce didn't buy that for you?
Well, no, he doesn't.
Well,
like
Patsy wouldn't buy that for you, would you? She wouldn't touch that.
But with my daughter, she said that she found out that I was going to be on your show. She said, "Dad, you got to wear that shirt."
That's a nice shirt.
And I said I'd wear it, and I said I'd mention her for buying it.
All right.
Thank you very much, Tina.
And yeah, you look good. I like that hat. You must have just got a new hat too, huh?
Sure did. My wife.
You had a different one on the other day when I seen you.
I've got a bunch of Packer hats, but right now this is my favorite.
Yeah, they're all my favorites.
I figured this was a good thing to cover up my bald head.
Oh, you're a nice. Thank you for being a Marine. Thank you for helping protect this country.
Thank you very much. As far as Packers, as far as my favorite, I guess my overall favorite would be Bart Starr.
Oh.
And
yeah, I think he's a pretty good guy. I think
from the era I grew up in, he was the man.
Yes.
Well, now they've got Brett Favre, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm a Brett Favre bandwagon fan. I've always liked Brett Favre since he's been with the Packers, but I've liked the Packers a lot longer than he's been around.
Oh yes. Oh,
and long after he's gone,
your blood is green, and your blood is green just like mine.
Exactly.
Well,
but see, I'm going for 2 #1 teams: the Packers and the Marine Corps. There you go.
Marine Corps, get my respect too.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming, and say hi to all you folks down there in North Carolina.
Yes.
And thanks for coming this week. And I don't know how many minutes we got left on this show here. 10 minutes. Oh, we got a few more minutes to talk. 10 more minutes. All right, I got 10 more minutes. All right, go, Pat, go. I talk football for 10 more minutes yet.
There you go.
So what can we talk about? I mean, we didn't have a game last week. We had the 49ers MVP. I mean, we really can't only say so much about Brett Favre and what a great year. But we got to look at how about the game? We go back to these games as Jacksonville beat Buffalo this week. What was 30-27? I guess Jacksonville. The week before that, they got a doink. The ball, you know, that Warren Anderson missed. Well, it wasn't a doink, but he completely missed it. He got a doink and went in to win the ball game over. I know Buffalo's got some old, you know, they're pretty getting on the old side of it, long in the tooth, so to speak, and Kelly and Bruce Smith, of course. I mean, there's some great ball players, but maybe they lost 4 Super Bowls, so maybe their time is due. Maybe there's new blood coming. I don't know.
Well, I think they've had their chance, and they blew it 4 times. And with what I saw from the other day's game, well, when Kelly got hit, they took him off in the cart, and he didn't know whether he was coming or going, and maybe it's time for him to go away, too.
Yeah. I don't know. But Mark Brunell, Mark Brunell, I don't think he got any mention for MVP, but he sure had an MVP year for his team. He probably is MVP at Jacksonville Jaguars. He threw for over 4,000 yards, probably, I don't know, maybe 26, 27 touchdowns. So he had a phenomenal year, too. Understudy for Brett Favre. And, of course, Ty Detmer of the Eagles, understudy of Brett Favre against the 49ers. Yes, he didn't do so well, but them 3 quarters, you know, they had to leave. There's no way you're going to replace Brett Favre with anybody. And
well,
it had to be that way.
Even though they were his understudies, they were good enough to where they could go somewhere else and be successful. They weren't going to do it with the Packers because when you've got Brett Favre, sure, you need a backup just in case. But with him being healthy, you don't need anybody else.
Yeah, he's very durable, isn't he?
Exactly.
And the one thing about Brett Favre being durable, the offensive line, I always say that offensive line is if not the most important part, the most important part of the football team, because we have Brett Favre back here. And they have to do their best, and Coach Holmgren has to do his best to figure out a game plan and a scheme, line blocking scheme, with tight ends or blocking backs in the back to protect Brett Favre a little bit. I mean, he can take a hit a little bit, but I mean, I don't need no, you know what I mean, with no poke in the eyes.
There you go.
Poke in the eyes, you know, we're talking about it, we don't need none of that. So they do have to protect Favre a little bit. I mean, he'll take a licking once in a while, but sort of keep the monkeys off his back for the most part.
Well, when Frank Winters got poked in the eye by Corey Fuller at that Viking game, that happened right in front of where we were sitting. And I couldn't believe that he didn't get a flag thrown on him. He didn't get thrown out of the game. And I just noticed that he got fined $30,000 for that.
And I guess the Minnesota team themselves fined him $6,000. So, but that was pretty. Well, Frankie got fined $7,500. I don't know. I guess it's, you know, it's a game, and it's a physical game. It's a contact. It's a controlled violence of some sort. And I don't know if he was extracurricular activity trying to follow through with his block, but what Frankie Winters did was not blatant. What Corey Fuller did was blatant, and it deserved quite a chunk of change. And out of his pocket, he got that.
Well, that happened right in front of where we were sitting, and when he poked him, you could hear the fans just going nuts because the fans didn't like it, and they couldn't believe a flag didn't get thrown on that play.
So who do you think is going to step up this week for the Packers? Andre going to have a couple touchdowns? They're going to, you know, they ran the ball very, very well against Minnesota. They're going to score a couple touchdowns on the ground, or Brett Favre going to pass the or something, or what? What do you think?
I think they're going to score a couple touchdowns on the ground and a couple in the air.
Who's going to get them in the air? Chewy get one yet? Chewy hasn't got one. I don't think Chewy has gotten a touchdown all year in touchdown pass.
I can't recall whether he has or not. I think Andre's going to get one. And, like, you know, that happened right in front of where we were sitting. Fans went nuts. And he was excited that he finally got to do something for
the Lambeau leap.
There you go.
You think I could do the Lambeau leap?
Well,
bring that.
You could try. You could try.
Bring that pen on a couple more feet.
There you go. There you go.
But, yeah, the Lambeau leap is catching on and stuff. But sometimes they don't do it because of the ice around the stadium. And speaking of ice and snow, they got paid for shoveling snow up in Lambeau this past week.
I saw that in the newspaper this week.
$6 an hour or something. They had 150 people shoveling.
But they were asking for a lot more to come up there because 150 wasn't enough.
It wasn't quite enough, no.
But I think Dorsey Levens will score one. I think Brett will score one.
I like Dorsey Levens.
He's good to go.
Oh, I like him.
Edgar Bennett better watch out because he's right behind
him.
Well,
Edgar Bennett had a very good game last week.
Sure did.
Yes. Well, Edgar Bennett, you know, Edgar Bennett's from Florida State, and Brett Favre's from Southern Mississippi, and a lot of guys, and some of the guys are from Georgia Tech and Carolina, like William Henderson. So a lot of Southern guys down here. But I'll tell you what, they sure play well up in this stuff up here.
There you go.
And I think it's Brett Favre. He hates the cold, but I think he's 15-0 when it's 35 degrees or below, or 30, 2 degrees or below, he's undefeated.
Well, I had
some
also
reason
heard
or
that
other.
he doesn't like the cold. Maybe he just gets out there with the thought, hey, if I go out here and do good, this game will be over quick and I can get back in where it's warm.
Yes. Well, they had that practice facility at Don Hudson Center. And maybe Chicago Bears, I heard the Chicago Bears or Minnesota want to play inside that Don Hudson Center. It's better than Soldier Field, I heard.
Could be.
That bounce. But anyway, so you're going to go back, when are you going back now?
On this Thursday, I'm going
Thursday
back.
would be the first.
The second.
The second.
Second.
And you're going to be down there for a while again.
Right.
And
I just got stationed there in July.
you're going to try to get to the Super Bowl down there? Yeah, well, you're a lot closer than I am, I guess. But
Well, I don't think it'd be possible. I'm gone a lot. And,
yeah. But I'm going to go down there, and it's going to be fun to watch them. And I remember watching the first 2 Super Bowls. They were sure nice, and it's been a long time. I guess maybe it's just our time. The Packer fans deserve a winning season. Now it's been 30 years, and we had a long uphill battle. We had a few years here and there in '89 and '72 and so on and forth, and a strike year. And now Coach Mike has got 5 consecutive winning seasons, and maybe it is our time now again to finally be on top and win some divisions in a row and go to the Super Bowl once in a while, win, lose, or draw the Super Bowls. And it's nice to win again, Mark, being on the top. But I don't know if enough media people give us. Do you think people give us enough respect? How's the media down by you giving up? Do they give the Packers some respect down there by you and the news that you watch and stuff?
They do, but I think the Packers have to earn that respect.
More, yeah.
And I think once they go to a Super Bowl and win another one, they're going to get the respect that they deserve.
Yes. I mean, all the accolades, the MVPs, the #1 defense, and all that other stuff, well, it is sort of secondary to the Super Bowl. And that's where the fine line is winning the Super Bowl and being second place and first place is winning the Super Bowl. And then, you know, like the Buffalo, they're 0-4, and Minnesota's 0-4, and Denver's 0-4. So there's some teams that really, they're great teams, but not great teams, because they didn't win the big ones. Everybody cares about actually the big one, to win the big one.
The Packers won the first and second Super Bowl, but it's
geez.
been a long time. And people have respected them over the years, but what they need to do is they need to win another Super Bowl so they regain that respect.
Yes. Imagine the madness will be around here after they win that.
Well, it's nuts around here now.
Oh, it'll be crazy. We're gonna pick a score for this game coming up Saturday. Mark, go ahead. Take a shot.
I think it'll be 28-7.
28-7. That's pretty good. 3 touchdowns. I figured that the Packers are gonna beat everybody by about 3 touchdowns from now on through the Super Bowl. I'm gonna say 31-13, which is 18 points. Or no, it's 18 points. So it's pretty close to 3 touchdowns. Because we are at least. I don't know what the spread is gonna be. Probably. I don't know if it come out yet. Probably 3 or 4, maybe. I don't know exactly how much it'll be. But we have. All the point spreads that we have come out, we have busted them all up. The 10, 12, 11, 9 points, we busted them all up. And we're going to take care of the 49ers. They got a great football league. They won 5 Super Bowls and stuff, and Jerry Rice and all these great quarterbacks in Montana. But now it's Brett Favre and the Reggie Whites and the Eugene Robinsons and the LeRoy Butlers and these guys. Gilbert Brown's turn now. And Mike Pryor's and these guys like this. Time to win a Super Bowl again and make this title town again.
Exactly.
And we're going to do that starting Saturday, 11:30. I'll be so fired up, Freddie, you ain't going to believe it. Oh, man, it's rock and roll. Are you ready to rumble? Let's go, Green Bay. So I just want to thank you for coming, Mark. And we'll get a tape. You'll get a tape of this and take it down to your gentleman down there in the Marine Corps down there. And about 3 weeks from now or so, 3.5 weeks, we'll win the Super Bowl. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. We got a couple of seconds. We got any time left? We got a minute. Okay, I just want to thank my sponsors again, and Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to everybody. Hope you all had a good Christmas. I know I had an early Christmas present when we beat the Vikings a couple weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, or whatever, and that was my Christmas present a couple days early. But everybody have a healthy, prosperous, safe New Year, and everything like this. And I hope all 4 million of us people from Wisconsin can go to the Super Bowl to see the Packers play. Unfortunately, we can't, but I'm going to go down there and watch the Packers win. But a Happy New Year and safe and prosperous 97, and see what happens when this 97 season rolls around, and we'll take it from there. But we'll win the Super Bowl first.
There you go.
Thanks, everybody, and bounce. They're okay, the Bear. We'll see ya.